So we are going to take some questions. Make it brief, concise, no rebuttal, please.
And question should end with question mark.
Yes. Why, what, where, and when, okay? So that's the agreement. And you can make a comment or a comment. So,
Sir, yes.
See, if we want to take on a big, big party or big individual, we need to be equally big. Someone who has to be big. I see so many intelligent people contesting election. They are individually very honest people, but they are not able to win the election. They are not able to contest election. Why not people come together, like-minded people, bring them together to take on these corrupt politicians. And another thing is, I always believe that there is no point in blaming the politicians, because people have to be enlightened. As long as people keep electing those people,
Thank you.
we will be like this. Why not somebody, I don't mind, if some financial support is required for this effort, someone like me definitely will come forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
yeah, the question is, why can't like-minded people come together to go for better politics?
No, I have an answer for that. Thank you very much for asking this question, sir. So, it's observation and then question. Yes, we can't leave it to one or two people who are enlightened or who found their calling, and then sometimes you find them very rarely. And then we are living in a society where every home wants Bhagat Singh to be born in next home. Every home, most of the places, every home wants Shaheed Bhagat Singh to be born in the next door, but not in their homes. So my request, I have not seen how freedom movement has evolved, but I had seen with my own eyes how Telangana movement got evolved. A movement for separate Telangana. Like a guy like Venkat, staying in Boston. I met his friends from his university, and then he made 3-4 subgroups, and then they started Telangana Development Forum, or they got a movement for separate Telangana across Atlantic. So most of these movements, they build up a very strong sentiments. These sentiments are made only when everybody talks about the cause. So not just one or two, not just Praveen Kumar, not just Venkat, not just Rohidas, not just Sanjay, but everybody, when they talk about this and everybody talks about the need, then the politicians also, they get scared, sir. Every channel should be able to beam this. And then if channels are not, because now today, we are not in a position to show all these great things in the channels because the state controls all the channels, because the information and broadcast. So in that case, you have only social media. You have YouTube, you have Facebook, you have Twitter, you have WhatsApp. So you have to, in your own way, or you have websites. You can start your blogs and you have to start your websites and then spread the information to punish those politicians who misuse public money, then promote those people who, your endorsement can be a great use, like, influencers. Once you say something, because you are a well-educated person. In villages, in Indian villages, people go to RMP doctors, registered medical practitioners who are not, the medical professionals who have gone to the proper medical colleges. They go to teachers. They go to retired teachers. They go to postmen, the postmasters. These are the influencers. And they go to well-educated people. If people like you, if you endorse a good politician, so whom you think good, whom you think honest, I think that makes a hell of a lot of difference. But not just one, not just two. We have to really make it as a movement. So for that, you need to have a multi-pronged strategy. So not one person's voice is not enough. So I hope I have answered your question. So, and I thank you very much for, offering to help. Thank you very much.
Next question.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Sankir. I live in Boston. As you said, you've been meeting people, right? So talking here with people like this is different from when you actually
Yes.
go into the ground. So have you come up with this one thing that people are actually looking for? And do you think if you can bring that up into people, they would actually think and vote rather than vote for other things that the other candidates are giving? Is there this one single point thing that you think that, oh, if we can focus on this thing, maybe we can convert that into votes?
People want jobs.
Okay, but that's been a generic way of all politicians saying it, right, sir? So is
No,
there...
but everybody says, but nobody has delivered. They want jobs. Like, this is what I have understood. Like, I've had a personal experience of all of them. They are not looking into whether chief minister is. The reason why politicians invest less in education is to keep people always in darkness. People, like none of that, you'll be surprised. Most of the places, people have not asked me about the quality of education. Nobody asked, why is that our children do not have a teacher? Why is that our school building is rickety? Why is it our school building is about to fall? Then I got really surprised, and then I came back and then talked to many people. Why is it these people are not asking about, schools? Why is it they are not asking about their, children's scores in mathematics or children's scores in English or, so on? And why is that there is no textbooks for the children? Even today, only 70% of the schools got textbooks. And some of the schools do not have notebooks. Then how do they write? And then nobody asked about this. Everybody is asking, sir, please give us jobs or give us pension at the first day of every month. So these are the smaller things. The people do not know what to ask. Why? Because they were not educated. They have not seen a better world. They have either through education. You have to see a better world either through education or somebody has to take you to that world and then show it. So people do not know what to ask. In Telangana, 4 crores, only 2 crores are literate. So they're just simply asking for jobs, because so that they can get sustainable employment. Otherwise, they have no means for a better livelihood.
Thank you.
Next question. Please introduce yourself.
Sir, this is Vijay.
Yes, Vijay.
I have 2 questions actually.
Yes, sir.
I'll speak in Telugu so that. So 75 ఏళ్ల స్వతంత్ర భారతదేశం సాధించిన అతిపెద్ద విజయం ఏమిటి, అతిపెద్ద ఫెయిల్యూర్ ఏంటి మీ దృష్టిలో? దట్స్ ద ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్.
75 ఏళ్ల భారతదేశం సాధించిన
అతిపెద్ద విజయం ఏమిటి, అతిపెద్ద ఫెయిల్యూర్ ఏంటి ఈ 75 years లో మీ దృష్టిలో? ఏది గ్రేటెస్ట్, ఏది బాగా సక్సెస్, ఏది బాగా ఫెయిల్యూర్? సెకండ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే, డాక్టర్ జయప్రకాష్ నారాయణ గారు, జేడి లక్ష్మీనారాయణ గారు, ఆకునూరి మురళి గారు, మీరు సిస్టంలో ఉండి ఎంతో చేయాలనుకున్నారు. కానీ సిస్టంలో ఉన్న లోటుపాట్లు కానీ, ప్రెషర్ వల్ల కానీ, రాజకీయ అడ్డంకుల వల్ల కానీ మీలాంటి మంచి ఆఫీసర్లు 4 రిజైన్ చేసి బయటికి రావాల్సి వచ్చింది. ఇలాంటి సిస్టమ్ ఇంకా ఎన్నేళ్ళకు బాగుపడుతుంది? 75 years అయిపోయింది, ఇంకొక 750 years ఆగాల, ఇంకో 75 years ఆగాల. మీలాంటి మంచి ఆఫీసర్లు సిస్టంలో ఉండి ఎలాంటి రాజకీయ పొలిటికల్ ప్రెషర్ లేకుండా మీరు మనసులో అనుకున్న సాధించాలంటే, సిస్టంలో ఉండి చేయాలంటే ఇంకెంత టైం పడుతుంది?
Yeah, Praveen, if you don't mind, I think there are many people who don't understand English, so Telugu. So let's try to keep it in English, but I can translate his question,
Yeah, please
right?
translate.
Yeah, so basically he's asking, in 75 years, what our country has achieved the best and what we haven't achieved in 75 years. That was his first question. And the second question is, we have, I don't know how many of you know Jayaprakash Narayan, who started Lok Satta movement, and then he started a political party. So he was considered a great officer, but he, really didn't succeed in politics. Similarly, there was recently another fine IPS officer called J.D. Lakshminarayana. After retirement, he started trying to enter politics, but he also didn't make. So his question was, why these, considered great officers are not really succeeding in politics, and is this the right time to enter politics or not? So that was his question.
Thanks
Please.
for translating this question. The biggest achievement, since independence is we stayed together as a nation. We stayed together as one nation. Although we have two different cultures, like too many cultures and then subcultures and then languages, whatnot, ways of life, but still we stayed together as a nation thanks to Indian Constitution, and it's working to some extent. The biggest failure, as I say, we lost on education, we lost on human development and then whatnot. So once you lost focus on education, human development, then when human development includes education, health, and so on and so forth, we have not been able to make a great progress. So in compared to other countries of the same, standing. So then second question, yes, as a bureaucrat, you may have been a celebrity and then you may have done a lot of great things, but as a politician, it's a different ball game. You have to, bureaucracy, you have a system right at your disposal to deliver. So if you have a good equation with the politicians, and if you have good space, or if you can manage better, then you can deliver. So, but politics is not like that. So you need to be with the people. You may be a very good intellectual and you may analyze things better, but people don't understand that. So you need to be with the people, you need to fight for the people, you need to sacrifice all your comforts, and you should be ready to go to jail. So then only you will be a successful politician, at least in India. So otherwise, I have a lot of respect for all the politicians that you have just mentioned. So, but they need to be with the people. So, and then they should not lose nerve. One defeat cannot, dampen your spirits. One defeat is politics. You get elected, defeated. So peaks and valleys are in public life, and we should be ready. It's not going to be a short journey. So thank you very much for asking this question. Thank you.
Next question.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sujata.
So we are all aware of your work in education areas for marginalized communities and living in poverty. One issue that you mentioned was unemployment, which we all know is in India these days. We are reading news every day. We see, we watch a lot of podcasts, which kind of reiterates this problem. But my question here is, you have mentioned this issue and you have done so much of work in education areas. So your immediate actions for unemployment, what are your plans, if at all they are in the future for you after you go from here, or any plans that you have already been working on for unemployment? We would all like to know about those.
Make people employable. So one single sentence, make the education meaningful, and then make it reflect the job requirements. And it's not that there are no opportunities. Economy, oftentimes it gets overheated, and then when you say economy is overheating, so you need more and more skilled youth, and then that skilling youth, like 83% of Indian engineering professionals are not employable. So the problem here is, this is not my study, this is a study by all consulting companies in the country. So 83% of Indian engineering graduates are not getting employment because they are not employable. So what we need to be urgently investing on is skilling of the people from different levels, and then understand the job market, and then link the job market with the education sector. So the people in the villages, they don't want to come to cities, although they want to work, because there are no facilities. So they don't know where to stay in cities. So this you build 10 to 15 hostels for all these young professionals, and then they can stay in cities where there are a lot of requirements. So you have to invest heavily onto skilling. So skilling is very, very important. And then integrate job market with the education. That's not happening right now. So industries are one watertight compartment, or the economy is one watertight compartment. Education is another watertight compartment. Very rarely they talk to each other. So that's where there is a mismatch out there. So that's why urgently we should be doing that. So that's very, very important. Thank you. Sir.
Next question. One second.
Hello. My name is Ashok Jaku, and I'm one of the board of directors of Boston Study Group.
Oh,
welcome to Boston.
Thank you very much.
And Dr. Praveen Kumar, I know you have been doing a lot for marginal communities, please keep up with what you are doing right
Thank you.
now. There's a lot to do more for marginal communities. My question is, it's a political question. My first question is, why BSP? What made you to go to BSP? Why not other political parties? The second part of the question is, people from BSP often come to us before the elections, and they come to us after they did your job, and they never show up. They never call us back. How you would be different kind of BSP politician than the other people? It's a two-part question. Thank you.
I thank you very much, Shakji, for asking this question. I chose BSP over, I preferred BSP over Congress, BJP, and a lot of regional parties because Bahujan Samaj Party built on the idea of constitution, the constitutional values, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. No party in India has constitution as its foundation and moral compass. And then they assiduously, after they got into power, they tried to pursue these constitutional values to the best possible extent, be it land distribution, be it job creation, be it ensuring safety to women on the streets, or be it ensuring the law and order, or be it investing in education to the extent possible. So this is the, and more importantly, the justice, the equality of opportunity. This is the only party which bats for equality opportunity, equality for opportunity. You have in India, you have scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward classes, then religious minorities, Christian minorities, Muslim minorities. Then you have poor among upper classes, so-called upper classes as well. So Bahujan Samaj Party keeps this in mind in terms of political representation, equality of opportunity, that every community should get their piece of cake. So it cannot be only the only dominant predators grab everything. So today, I was reading a book written by, Akar Patel on, Indian billionaires, etc., etc. You have 119 billionaires in India, of which, there are no scheduled castes. There are no scheduled tribes in that billionaire list. You go to judiciary, higher judiciary. You have about, I don't know how many Supreme Court judges, maybe 30 or 40. But very rarely you find the people from these communities. You go to IITs and IIMs. So in IITs and IIMs, 90% of only 10% of the professors who are serving in IITs and IIMs, who are supposed to be the premier education institutions of this country, after 75 years of independence also, you have only 5 to 10% of professors who are from these marginalized sections, who form about 30% of Indian, 30 to 35% of Indian, population. Now go to central universities. There are 80 to 90 central universities in this country. So these central universities, for example, OBCs, they form 52% of India, other backward classes. You know how many percentage are there in central universities? Only 9.8%. Where is their population? 52%. Where is their representation? 9.2. You may say in the first decade of independence, okay, now these people are not educated, let us invest in education. Now we have 7.5 decades. That is 75 years of independence. Even today, you have only 9.8% of OBCs in central universities. But Bahujan Samaj Party wants to take this problem head on. So that's why I really liked it. So their idea is social justice, idea is equality of opportunity, idea is liberty of thought and fraternity. So no other party has this. And then their chips are down for a while. So today, so this is a mission, this is a movement. It's not a political party just gets votes and etc., etc. So it's a movement, it's a continuous movement for social justice, and fighting elections is only one part of it. Coming back to your second question. The very reason why I'm here. The very reason why I'm here, so answers your second question. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Got it. We are very much connected to you, and we have very high expectations from you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll not disappoint you. Take it from me.
Right, how many questions left? So one more question here.
Yeah, we'll take a couple of them, then wrap it up. And one from this PhD scholars table. Yeah, you go first. You go, and then.
Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, sorry. After.
Who? I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
Hello, Jai Bhim, Dr. R.S. Praveen.
Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim. So I'm really very inspired, and this is the first time I'm hearing any politician from our community talking in a suit. So I really have a big hopes from you. So I really see the future is very bright.
I really like this observation.
and
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to you as a next or coming CM of Telangana, and in future, obviously, I would really work hard to make you PM of India.
Thank
you.
Everyone. Thank you very much.
So
I really appreciate it.
Having this vision and having this dream in our head, I have a question or maybe I have some.
Please go ahead.
These things for you. So I see your vision now. While translating that vision into activities for the community which has never got education or which doesn't know this language, so our community which doesn't have this kind of understanding of this kind of language or anything, and considering 3.8 million, that is around 4 crores of population.
Yes.
50% is uneducated.
Yes.
23% is around, I think so, scheduled caste, and 11% around scheduled tribes.
Yes.
Considering the climate of right now in Indian context, which is being religious and which is being I don't want to go into details. You know that better than me. How or what vision or what roadmap we people or people like you should have to translate our people's understanding and our people like you vision and people of our people at ground understanding, how to make them together, because BSP has a very good history of being cadre based, going door to door. Unfortunately, I have not observed that for last few days.
Yes.
So what roadmap or what vision you have, how you're going to do that, how you're going to translate your vision or your manifesto into action plan, and how you're going to get back. At the end of the day, politics is all about getting numbers.
Yes.
So how you're going to calculate and how you're going to get that numbers. I'm really excited to listen and I'm really excited to contribute for getting that numbers for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope your words come true. So my shortest answer to your question is get back to the ground. So the day you are off the ground, and then you are not going to get that numbers. So you must be with the people, you must build the structures, you must give a framework to the functioning of the party, and then you must fight for the problems of the people, and then only people will trust you. Otherwise, most of us sometimes what we do is we only talk about theories, and then which people don't understand. So, but if you fight for their problems, then you win their hearts and minds, and then talk about the meta process behind the process. Probably they will understand it better. So, and then they'll be connected to you forever. So that's why never leave the ground. Never leave the ground. Always stay, have your eyes and ears and feet on the ground. Then you will be a successful politician. You will definitely, if not in one term, the next term, people will understand this is the guy. This is the guy who has been with us all through the times, whether in summer or winter or, the monsoon or whatever season. So this guy has been with us, and then we will go with him. So you don't have to pay money to the voters like all the dominant political parties which are founded on the idea of exploitation. So be with the people. So that's the only thing that I wanted to say. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. My name is Aruna Ramaya. I'm very excited to meet you, and I'm very inspired. Sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead, Aruna. Yeah.
And I'm very inspired and motivated by.
Thank you.
I have two. First question is, my goal is to go back to India and work towards the betterment of society.
Very good.
After
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So I'm very scared about changing like people's minds and to how to erase their superstitious beliefs, because everyone have their own different perspectives, right? So that is my first question. Any tips upon that?
One of my professors in Kennedy School, he taught me a tip. Since you have asked about tips, so to bring the change, so there are three circles. One is I, us, and now. So I is you as an individual. Us is your immediate vicinity. The now is, the I is we is the community in which you live in. The community is not the caste, but the group of people, group of families. And now is the time. So, most important thing what he told was, listen, empathize, listen, empathize, solve, respond. Don't sermonize. Don't sermonize. Listen, empathize, respond, help. Probably you will change them forever. So the day you say you have a problem, then I have a solution. Come, open the box, then I have the spanner, then I'll fix it. No, that won't work. Listen, empathize. Everybody has his own trajectory or her own trajectory. So everybody has, he represents a constituency. That constituency is formed by not just living people, but even the ancestors. So you need to be very, very patient, and you need to be empathetic, and you need to be a great listener. So before you solve the problems, and then should you have any issue in praxis, please, when you come back to India, so please join us for a while.
For sure,
Then
sir.
both of us can work together. Thank you.
So much.
Thank
That
you.
was very helpful. And
Thank
my
you.
second question.
Yes.
You said that liquor is very harmful to our
Yes, it is.
society. Yeah.
Excessive
So
drinking, yes.
I'm very curious to know about your plans. Like, what are you planning?
We are going to regulate the access.
So
Absolutely.
Are
So
you
we are going to make it inaccessible, highly inaccessible.
highly inaccessible,
Yes.
not completely ban it, right?
No, it has not worked anywhere in the world, including Gujarat.
Thank you so much,
Including,
sir.
you need to
Thank
be, you drink, I have no problem, but you have to be a responsible drinker. It has not worked in Gujarat, the birthplace of Mahatma Gandhi, so it has not worked. We have so many huge deaths.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. RSP. Jai Bhim. Jai Bhim to everybody. My name is Arif, and I am from Bihar via Cambridge. I'm not an active participant in politics, especially electoral politics, but I'm an observer and a student of politics. And like many other people, I feel that Manevar Kanshi Ramji has been the biggest change maker or political strategist of independent India. Before he founded BSP, Bahujan Samaj Party, in 1984, he started off with BAMSEF in 1978, and then, of course, DS4 in 1981. The one thing which was very, very prominent, and he kept it very prominent by design, that he always centered the Bahujan identity. Like when BAMSEF, there's backward and minorities, DS4 is Dalit Socialist Samaj Sangharsh Samiti, and of course, Bahujan is Bahujan. And as a student of politics, when we see the rise and fall, of unfortunate fall of BSP, is that BSP got extremely, if I might use the term, Dalitized. Or even in UP, its biggest, with its biggest support base, it became Jatavized. And that's how it was actually, it turned in its own enemy, and that's how it was broken down. Like, of course, the RSS used it to their advantage, and Jatavs, or say non-Jatavs and stuff like that. And now you are in a new state in Telangana, which BSP, as far as I understand, is a very limited presence.
Till last year.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of,
True.
I mean, we don't
True.
have data yet in terms of how much, what's the what percentage of votes you have. Of course, you don't have much seats in the legislative assembly or anything. How do you plan to kind of expand this circle of support for BSP and make it a really Bahujan party and not commit the mistakes which were done by leadership, committed by leadership in UP?
Want to follow the rule book designed
Another
by...
thing, he is also a John F. Kennedy School alumni, like you.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
So the one important thing is to follow the rule book of Kanshiram. So it is still relevant, and it will be relevant till you have differences in this country. So we will further improve upon that. And then second thing is the current 21st century politics is not just about adding the numbers or bringing the communities together. No, but you have to also actively engage with them. So 21st century is about using the technology and then fighting for the problems and then fighting for, giving the solutions. And it has to be a continuous process. So if you lose the touch with the ground, that's what I've been saying. So one is bringing that together and then giving proper representation, as you rightly pointed out. If you restrict only to a few, 2 or 3 dominant sub-communities in a country like India, you won't be succeeding as a politician. You need to build that framework in such a way that gives room for everyone. Then that is not enough. So having brought them together, you have to give them a program. And then program should always revolve around the problems faced by the people. It cannot, talk about the history repeatedly again and again. No, it's not going to help you. So most of the parties, not just, one party, most of the parties, what they do is, particularly the communists, for example. So they have been wiped out from most of the states, except for Kerala. So in a place like West Bengal, now you have BJP has 75 seats. I was a police observer for elections in West Bengal. And then I asked, where are communists? So most of the communists are in Bharatiya Janata Party. So where is ideology? So what I'm trying to say, ideology is not enough. Now you need to engage with the people with that ideology and then refine that ideology as you go ahead. So if you get dogmatic and then if you, only live in the past and bask under the glory of the previous successes, probably it will be very difficult. So we are not making, even we got the instruction from our supreme leaders also to refine the strategies that existed and then go for a version 2.0 and then if necessary 3.0 as well. So we need to be with the people, solve the problems, then again communicate with the help of technology, because as you said, the ruling classes in the form of BJP or any other party, they have grabbed every possible institution. Earlier, that institutions were reasonably democratic and accessible to everybody, but today, judiciary is infiltrated. Then Union Public Service Commission is infiltrated. Media is totally infiltrated. So then what is the way out? So you need to use a lot of smarter ways of reaching out to people and then spread your word. You have to match and then mass action to the extent possible and mass digital action. So the sky is the limit. So this is what I want to say. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is last 2 questions. So
yeah,
okay.
Mahesh, please go.
Hello, sir. This is Mahendra again.
Yeah. Mahesh, please.
Yes. Mahendra, sir.
Mahendra, yeah.
So you have shown and you have proved that education, by educating people, we can create wonders, right? But I'm wondering whether this message is being reached to the common people, particularly illiterate people in the villages, who can influence the elections broadly, right? Is it being reaching? What either your team or you are doing to explain them, understand them? They need education is the first thing. And then they can change their life. Their lifestyle can be changed. The quality of their life can be changed. What are you doing on this front?
Very good question.
And how can we help you, if there is any?
Very good question. It has reached. In fact, I had my own doubts because I was never into political space. So I'm just 1 year old in politics, and then you'll be surprised. All the beneficiaries of my work in all the educational institutions, they are the people who took me to their homes, and then they introduced me to their parents, and much before my entry into politics. And then they have really talked about the value of education, and then parents have realized that earlier only rich people in the village used to speak in English. Only rich people used to go to urban areas. Only rich people used to go to universities. But today, the students from the poorest of the poor communities whose houses are made up of old saris are studying in great universities like Ashoka University, Delhi University, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Some of them have visited even Harvard for summer programs. And then their parents are agricultural laborers. And then these people have become celebrities in their communities, celebrities in those villages, in the neighborhoods. So, and then these people have become our brand ambassadors, and then people have realized the value of education to a greater extent. So, I think the real test, whether these people are going to vote for me or not, vote for the party or not, I think it will be known only when we fight elections in a big way. So, I think the elections which are upcoming now, that is going to be a litmus test whether investment in education works or not. It has worked in the, in Arvind Kejriwal's context, whether the same thing works in Telangana context, because in Telangana context is different. The North Indian elections are different from South Indian elections, North Indian elections, South Indian elections. Every vote fetches you